two other things. I received today from the county, two items that I guess are kind of near and dear to our hearts. One of them is the North Lake from Ibis west to Bell Isles, I guess it is, with the new Bell Isle. They're going to extend that right-of-way width from 120 feet, which it currently is, to 142 feet, which will mean it'll actually be 6 lanes from Ibis out. Because right now in the one section, it goes from 2 lanes to 3 lanes. So it's 6 lanes,
Okay.
3 and 3. That'll start at Ibis and go out,
Go east.
go west.
Ballin Isles is east of
Yeah, it's
I'm
Bay Hill State.
Bay Hill.
Bay Hill.
State.
Bay Hill, I'm sorry, Bay Hill, from to Bay Hill.
Okay.
So that'll be 6 laned out to there. That's what they're doing. Right now, they're adding an extra lane on North Lake on the north side.
And what about from Seminole Pratt to Bay Hill?
That's still down the road. That's part of the other North Lake widening project. That's after the 900-day project from Orange to North Lake. The other one is comprehensive plan change of 60th Street North thoroughfare. They're taking from State Road 7 extension to 140th, was originally an 80-foot wide right-of-way. They're expanding that to a 100-foot wide right-of-way, which will match the 100-foot right-of-way, which is on the north side of Westlake. That becomes even more important as you tie in what Indian Trails is trying to do with streets, et cetera, and incorporation and other things that they're trying to do, which could very adversely affect our residents within Westlake, as well as emergency services to the communities. If you start gating every street on a safe streets area, fire rescue response, PD response is going to go through the roof. So they are important items for us to make known that we definitely want these things done. And what Indian Trails is proposing is not in the best interest of the residents of Westlake or others.
So these 2 items from the county, those are contract amendments that have already been,
They are,
from Bay Hill to,
they're doing a
Ibis.
informational meeting to answer questions on Tuesday, January 10th.
these are proposed changes.
Yes, in the LPA changes. There's been some discussion about it for a while now on 60th and North Lake. And they're finally got it together and they're actually pushing it forward. It's definitely needed with the amount of traffic, not by necessarily our changes of increase, because most of our people are on Seminole Pratt or North Lake or Seminole Pratt south to the other. There's not anything. The majority of the increase in traffic is from the surrounding area, which is Indian Trails.
So
And Happy New Year to all of you. Look forward to the next year. And we're already almost 4 days in.
I'm going to take a point of privilege here, and legal's probably going to yell at me, but I'm going to make a comment. Hope my council members would agree with me. City of Westlake has stayed pretty neutral in that fight that Sid and Minto are involved in over those connections. But it's getting to the point where, it's directly adversely affecting this city. I would like to say, if it came to it, the city would be willing to join that fight. Obviously, I can't make that decision on my own. But if it comes to it, I would hope the council also would agree that if we need to fight to get connections, we can't have one way in and out of the city. It's just not right. It's going to affect everything. It's going to affect police response time and safety vehicles. And like I said, we have a school that's impossible to get to in the mornings. It's tough.
Yeah.
These right-of-ways are being blocked and these connections are being blocked, and it's
And then
If it's
if you,
affecting us now, think of it 5 years from now when we've got double the population. It's,
when all the neighborhoods are built and everybody's living here with all the kids and all, this is gonna be impossible.
gotta get these
It
roads
is,
through. We gotta get
right.
those connections done.
Right now, it's a little bit hard, like for me to go to the hospital in the morning because the school, and it's a lot of traffic. So I have to literally get out of the way before the school traffic to get to the hospital on time. Otherwise, it's like 1 hour. So I think, yes,
I mean, I don't know what that looks like, but if
I would say
we
if
need to
any
join
of the
that
council
fight.
members that's speaking to any other elected official within the county or anyone else, that they make their position known.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to correct the record. If I've yelled at you in the past, I haven't.
I've
I don't-
never
I
been
don't-
yelled at.
I don't think,
But,
thank you. I don't think I,
um,
respectfully, this is a case of first impression, so bear with me. There are a lot of issues associated with joining a lawsuit of this nature. I would have to consult with, first of all, counsel representing Minto. There is a motion to intervene, which is required. That requires a court order. I can't give you any advice this evening as to the pros and cons, the costs, the benefits to the city. I will examine the issues and confer with counsel for Minto as to their impression of the importance of Westlake being a party. They may not want the city as a Westlake as a party, could slow down the litigation. It's late in the coming to the party, if you will. And I don't even know a legal basis other than to intervene. I'd have to examine that. It'd have to come before you as a recommendation. And I'm not even sure if we could intervene at this point without invoking a statute, chapter 164, which requires mediation between intergovernmental bodies prior to the initiation of lawsuit. So it's a complex issue. So we will examine it, we'll take it under advisement, but I'm not in a position to offer you any advice on that particular subject matter this evening.
My sentiment is a simple one. We need these connections for our residents and city. So it's just a thought.
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Um,
Good
I think
thought.
also, like Ken said, if it's who we speak to, let them know our position. So we need to make sure we stand up for what we want for the city.
I'm actually presenting to that delegation on behalf of so I'll make sure. And I also make my voice known
Resident.
as a resident and the mayor of the city of Westlake.
Is that something we can join you and support?
Find out. I sit on the Intergovernmental Affairs and Transportation Committee for the Florida League. And I sit on the board of the Palm Beach County League, so I'm making a presentation to the delegation in that respect for that, but
Right.
you know, they're all gonna be in front of me. So
Yeah, anything we can show up and, power in numbers and help, make a louder voice.
And I guess
There-
the residents from the community, they will let us know, and then we can maybe
Yes.
encourage residents from the community
Exactly.
to also.
There is the local delegation hearing, I believe it's January 11th or 12th, January
I'm in a
12th.
joint workshop, I think, on the
Right.
11th.
On this proposal of there are safe streets and their changes of their things which would potentially adversely impact the district and the city. So if any resident is opposed to it, go make yourself heard.
I know we have at least one public comment from Alicia Torres. But let's go ahead and open up for public comments, virtual and present. We have one here from Tara Dewey. State your name for the record.
Good evening. For the record, Tara Dewey, Lewis, Longman and Walker, on behalf of Minto PBLH LLC. Just to give some background on the topic of the litigation and the status to the extent that I'm able. So to Ms. Torres's question to me, I'll do my best to answer what I have clients' authorization to disclose. As to where we are in terms of timing, I would say I appreciate the city's support of our position. However, we are scheduled for the April docket, which is anywhere between April and then the summer, which we're hoping to go. We're currently in motion practice, and completing depositions, so we're hopeful to go. We were only delayed to this point because of a change in judge late last year that kicked us to this new year. So we are fairly far down the road. We have already done the interlocal government mediation process early on because of the involvement of SID. So we do appreciate it, but I think we have the litigation well in hand. I would encourage you and residents who are concerned about this to review the documents related to the local bill. And I just want to make it very clear that from Minto's perspective, the importance to us is Palm Beach County has adopted a thoroughfare identification map that identifies necessary connectivity to do what it is the TPA has been asking you to do, to make sure this entire region can travel safely and efficiently throughout Palm Beach County. Some of those roads were identified to address Indian Trail itself and the development of the acreage as part of the concurrency exemption that the acreage was granted. It wasn't called technically an exemption, it was a urban planning area, but nonetheless, they were required to deal with that traffic in and out to other areas. So the importance to Minto, we're not considered about the safety of their local neighborhood roads. That's certainly not what we're proposing, but the county thoroughfare roads that are identified by Palm Beach County as thoroughfare connectivity, those need to be protected and the connectivity needs to be protected. So I just want to make it clear that we're not promoting or suggesting that we should just drive all over local streets. You wouldn't want that either. That's not what is being proposed by any of the traffic studies that have been done, notwithstanding what you might hear from the other side on that topic. But the connectivity to Persimmon, 60th, and the larger network is really what's critical.
Thank you. Have any virtual public comments?
Mayor, we have a comment from Ms. Torres. Ms. Torres, please state your name and address.
Hi again. Yeah, Alicia Torres, 5847 Whippoorwill Circle. And actually, Mayor O'Connor's question about what the city's role can be in the litigation was kind of along the same lines as my question. So that answered that question. And then I was going to ask another one that's a little bit preemptive about what blocking or restricting access for Westlake residents would look like. But it seems like it's a bit early to be asking that question, unless Ms. Dewey wants to talk about that.
She's nodding yes to it's a bit too early.
Okay. And so then in that case, I just wanted to make one last comment about the school access. That multimodal pathway lake is truly one of the most creative, fascinating, fabulous ideas I've seen in an American city, maybe ever. It feels really European. I'm really looking forward to that. Great work, everybody. All right. Happy New Year. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Torres. Happy New Year. We have any more public comments?
Mayor, received no additional comment cards. We'll give the virtual audience an additional moment to raise their virtual hand. If you're a caller that has been muted, please press *6. Mayor, I have no additional comments.
I will adjourn this meeting at 7:40 p.m. Thank you all.
Thank you.